Do you love old classic fairy tales, but you want something new, something a little different, darker, twisted, maybe something more modern? If so, we have the perfect books for you. I'm Ravina.
And I'm Krista.
And this is York County Libraries Fractured Fairy Tales Teen BookTok Review. So what is a fractured fairy tale? So picture a classic fairy tale, but with some new elements. So you're staying to the basic plot, a lot of the same characters, but now maybe you have some unexpected twist in there, something a little different to take you by surprise. And we are going to start with some book suggestions.
Yes, I have a great example of this. This is a fractured fairy tale where you get a different point of view on the story. So it's the same characters. This is When You Wish Upon a Star by Elizabeth Blim, but this is going to be a Pinocchio retelling. So you're going to have Geppetto, you're going to have Pinocchio in there. But really this is the story of the Blue Fairy. And why does she show up that night to grant the wish? And are there more fairies? Well, in fact, there are. So this kind of gives more of that storyline, tells who they were when they were younger, and introduces like a whole fairy world within the story of Pinocchio. So this is a really fun one.
I love fairies. Okay. I am going with A Blade So Black. This is by L.L. McKinney. And this is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. This is the first book of 3. And so Alice is a strong female character. She's dealing with a whole, world of her mom, her best friend, her school, and nightmares at the same time. She's going to go deep into Wonderland to try to help someone close to her. And she's going to battle some monsters, use weaponry skills, and so this is a great retelling of Alice in Wonderland. A little twisted, strong female character.
Love a strong female character.
Me too.
Okay. So everybody loves the Beauty and the Beast retelling or Beauty and the Beast story. This is that retelling of Beauty and the Beast. This is Of Curses and Kisses by Sandhya Menon. This also has a bit of like a Romeo and Juliet. So you have 2 warring families that can't stand each other, but their oldest children, Jaya and Gray, come to an elite boarding school, and they're kind of there to break each other's hearts, make the families upset, and maybe break a curse at the same time. So can they work together to do that? So that's what Curses and Kisses, and a little romance.
Little romance and curses. Speaking of curses, House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. This is a 12 Dancing Princess retelling. This is the first book in a duology, and this is a retelling if you like gothic, if you like, dancing, something a little bit horrifying. This has it. There's curses where there's 12 sisters, and some of them are dying. They feel like they've been cursed. There's some ghosts, some visions, and along the way, they also have a door they can travel to go all over the world to dances. But Annalie, the main sister in this retelling, is curious. Who are they dancing with? What are they dancing with behind all of the glittering balls? So if you want to know, you should check this out.
Awesome. Love the gothic one too. Okay. Poison by Jennifer Donnelly. This is going to give you some Snow White. So you have all the classic Snow White elements, except this time her name is Princess Sophie, and she's been told that she's too kind-hearted, and her wicked stepmother wants to get rid of her, so she asks the huntsman to take her into the woods and rip out her heart. So we're going to go back into more of the grim fairy tales that were very dark, but kind of wanted to teach you something at the same time. So this also talks about kindness and how it's a positive, not a negative. It's a strength. So you'll see all the classic Snow White elements, but a little bit darker.
Okay. So I have A Sword in Slumber, and this is by Sarah Raughley. This is from the Queen's Council, which is a series of books that based on different retellings of princesses that we know. This is what happens after Sleeping Beauty with Aurora, and it's focused on her. What happens to her when her father dies and who is the king, and she becomes queen. and now has to try to step in his place where he was a contender for the Holy Roman Empire. Now she is. So Prince Philip, who she was going to be married to, is going to go with her best friend, and they're all going to go together to try to win over the title of Holy Roman Empress and fight against the queen, the warmongering queen, and her daughter along the way. So this is a great Sleeping Beauty, Aurora retelling.
Love it. Is there a dragon?
Maybe. You have to check it out and see.
Okay. So this is Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas, and this is going to be a Peter Pan retelling. So in Peter Pan, you get to see what happens in Neverland, but what happens at home? So in this story, they're in Oregon, so it's a modern retelling. Wendy, Darling, and her two brothers go off into the woods behind their house, and only Wendy comes back. 5 years later, more kids start disappearing again. A boy named Peter shows up and tells Wendy that he might be able to help her solve this mystery. And so you have a darker, a much more mysterious thriller type vibe of what is actually going on.
What is going on?
So check out Lost in the Neverwoods.
Okay. I have Not So Wicked Stepmom by Mugarang, and this is a beautiful book with beautiful pictures, romance, and relationships. This is a spin on Snow White, where the main character dies and wakes up reincarnated as the stepmom, and she is hoping to try to not get the same kind of fate that the stepmom in Snow White does eventually. So she is going to try to convince everyone that she is a really good person. And so she's going to try to win over her stepdaughter, her staff, and hopefully her husband even. And a really sweet series. So I would check it out.
All right. I saved the best for last, in my opinion. So this is my favorite. This is called Cinder. This is by Marissa Meyer, and it's the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. So this is Cinderella like you've never really seen her before. So you have a futuristic sci-fi story instead of the fairy tale. Cinder, our Cinderella in this one, her name is Cinder, and she's a cyborg. Okay. And she's also a mechanic, and she fixes things, and a boy comes into her stall who just happens to be the prince and asks her to fix something. So she ends up bringing it to him, and there happens to be a ball going on, and she might leave something behind on the stairs as she leaves, just definitely not a glass slipper. So these are really great, strong female characters in the Lunar Chronicles. You have people living on the moon. There might be some wolves. It's just a really great version of some classic fairy tales.
Okay. I love the sci-fi. And so we're going to end it with a movie, Into the Woods.
Love it.
So Into the Woods is a Disney telling of a lot of different fairy tales in one. So you have Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Beanstalk, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and it's all taking place around a baker and his wife trying to lift a witch's curse. And it's a great movie, but also there's a ton of wonderful singing.
Wonderful singing.
Some musicals, so you will be singing while you're watching, and you can check it out from the library. You can look for it on Hoopla, and so we have all of these books and movies and more that you can check out at our branches and also online, Libby and Hoopla. And even though our main branch is closed right now in Rock Hill, we hope to see you soon and hope you'll be able to come in and walk out with all of these and more.
Yes.
All right. That's all we have for today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Check out the book.